Something is quietly destroying your peace. Not catastrophically, not all at once. Quietly, persistently, in a way that's hard to trace because the source isn't one thing. It's five, working together, each feeding the others, each so woven into ordinary modern life that you've probably never seen them as problems. You've accepted them as the price of being alive in this century. They are not the price. And here is the part that matters most before we name a single one of them. Your peace is not gone. It has not been destroyed. It is underneath all five, exactly where it has always been, intact, steady, waiting. These five things don't remove your peace. They cover it. They sit on top of it like silt on the bottom of a clear pool, and the water gets cloudy, and you forget you could ever see through it. That distinction is not a comfort. It's the whole map, because the peace you keep trying to build is not somewhere ahead of you to be constructed. It is already here to be uncovered. The tradition that named these five knew this precisely. The word it used was nīvaraṇā. It means literally a covering, a veil, the thing that obscures the mind and stops it from seeing clearly. The five coverings, the five hindrances, these are not extreme states, not the dramatic suffering of grief or loss. They are the ordinary background hum of the unexamined mind, the low interference that makes focus hard, decisions cloudy, sleep unrefreshing, and peace, even on good days, somehow just out of reach. They were first given a formal name when a troubled king came to the Buddha at night, asking what visible good the contemplative life actually produced, something he could see in this life now, not in some promised heaven. The answer included these five, presented not as the failures of weak people, but as the standard starting condition of any mind. The king's, a monk's, the mind of a person on a couch at 11 at night, phone in hand, vaguely unhappy and unsure why. The Buddha described them with one image, a bowl of water. Look into clear, still water in good light, and you see your own face exactly. Now add dye. The reflection has color but no clarity. Boil it. The image breaks into turbulence. Cover it with algae. The surface goes opaque. Whip it with wind. Only agitation, no image. Set it in a dark room. Nothing at all. 5 ways the water stops showing you what's actually there. The water is fine. The reflection is still possible. Something has just come between you and it. Here are the 5, and what each one looks like in your life right now. The first is kamacchanda, usually translated sensual desire, which sounds like a monk's problem and is nearly useless. It is not mainly about sex. It is the relentless pull toward pleasant stimulation, the reach for the next image, the next headline, the next episode, before the current one has even landed. The mind's addiction to almost enough. Almost enough is not new, but it has never had a delivery system as efficient as the feed. Behavioral scientists have shown that unpredictable, intermittent rewards hook us harder than reliable ones. The slot machine holds you better than the vending machine. The feed is a slot machine. Not every scroll gives you something, but the next one might. So you keep going. You know the inside of this. You sit down to check one thing. 40 minutes later, you're still there. You never found the thing. Nothing you did find satisfied you, and you feel slightly worse than when you started. That is kamacchanda, running undisrupted, the dyed water that can't show your reflection. The interruption, when you feel the itch, the pull toward the next thing the instant the current one ends. Pause before you act. Don't suppress it. Don't lecture yourself. Notice it. Name it once, and wait one full breath before you reach. That breath doesn't remove the craving. It breaks the automatic reach. The hand that reaches without awareness, and the hand that reaches with it are not the same hand. The second is vyapada, ill will, aversion, the whole spectrum from mild irritation through resentment to cold, settled dislike. Where the first hindrance pulls the mind towards something, this one shoves it away. The boiling bowl, turbulent, reactive, churning the same grievance, the same slight, the same person, not because reviewing it helps, but because aversion has its own momentum. The modern form isn't rage. Most people don't walk around visibly furious. They carry something quieter, low resentments held so long they've become structural, the grudge that colors how you talk about a colleague. Not in anger, just in tone. The bitterness about something from years ago that surfaces reliably when you're tired. And the entire architecture of online debate is built to manufacture and maintain it, because provocation generates aversion generates attention, and the water keeps boiling. The interruption. When you notice aversion, find it in the body, not the story, not the person, the sensation, the tight chest, the clenched jaw. Breathe into that spot once. You are not forgiving anyone or summoning loving kindness. That takes longer than a minute. You are setting the pot down off the flame. It doesn't cool instantly. It cools faster than water left on the fire. The third is thanamida, usually sloth and torpor, which sounds like laziness. It isn't laziness, it's collapse. The dullness the mind drops into when stimulation has been too high for too long, and the nervous system, unable to process the volume, switches into numbness. The glazed scroll that is neither awake nor resting. It disguises itself as reasonable tiredness. It invites rest and then delivers nothing restorative. You lie on the sofa for 2 hours and get up as depleted as you lay down, often more. Of all 5, this is the one the modern world has most thoroughly normalized. The algae-covered bowl, no reflection at all. The interruption. Stand up. 3 deliberate breaths on your feet, feeling the soles against the floor. The body switches on when the mind shuts down. It's not a cure for the deep version. That needs real changes to how a life is run. But the body remembers what the dulled mind forgot. The floor is there. The next breath is available. The fourth is uddaka kukucha, 2 faces of one problem, restlessness and worry. The agitated mind that can't settle, skittering object to object, urgent without direction, and the remorseful mind, snagged on the unfinished and the unsaid. The unanswered email, the conversation that went wrong 3 weeks ago, the decision deferred. They feed each other. The restless mind can't settle, so the worry runs unresolved. The worry keeps it agitated, so it can't settle. The water whipped by wind, and the wind made by the water. This is the one a silent retreat exposes most brutally. And a man who came to meditation in the 1950s only to cure crippling migraines discovered exactly this. The pain didn't vanish, but the constant rehearsing and worrying about the pain quieted, not by being suppressed, but by being clearly seen for the first time. Around day 5 of sitting still with no phone and no conversation, the agitation peaks and then drops. Not because the problems got solved, because the mind, unable to act on the agitation, finally notices that the agitation is just an experience, arising and passing, not a command, not a fact about the world. The interruption. Write down one unfinished thing, not a list, one. The first that surfaces when you ask, what am I still holding that I've left undone? Write it. Don't plan it, don't solve it. Just move it from the mind to the page. The restless mind holds open loops the way a cluttered desk holds loose paper, present, demanding low-level attention even when you're not looking at it. Moving it to the page doesn't close the loop, but it releases you from carrying it. The wind drops. The water steadies. The fifth is vicikicca, doubt, not healthy skepticism. The Buddha explicitly told students to test his teaching against their own experience, rather than take it on authority. That kind of inquiry is a practice, not a hindrance. This is the other thing, the paralytic doubt that prevents beginning. The doubt that questions a commitment before it's made, that always finds a reason why this path, this practice, this moment isn't quite the right one, and so the start can be deferred again. Doubt as a defense mechanism. The bowl in the dark room, nothing visible, no way to choose. This is the hindrance modern culture most amplifies. In an age of infinite options and ironic detachment, non-commitment has been dressed up as a virtue. To try something earnestly, to stay with it long enough for it to work, means risking looking briefly foolish, and the contemporary reflex finds that unbearable. Vicikicca is comfortable. It asks nothing of you. It gives nothing back. The interruption. Ask one question and answer it with an action, not a thought. What is the smallest possible beginning I can make right now on the thing I keep putting off? Not a plan, not a resolution. A beginning so small it can't be argued with. Doubt thrives in the abstract and cannot survive contact with the specific. Name the thing. Do one tiny piece of it, even for 30 seconds. The dark room gets one candle. It's worth seeing how all 5 move through a single ordinary day, because once you can spot them in real time, they lose most of their power over you. You wake, and before your feet hit the floor, your hand is already reaching for the phone, kamachanda, the reach for the next thing, running before you're even conscious. Over breakfast, you scan the news and feel the familiar tightening at a headline, a low disapproval you carry into the commute. Vyapada, the boil, quietly warming. By mid-afternoon, the inbox has won. You're glazed, scrolling without seeing, neither working nor resting. Thanamida, the algae spreading across the surface. At 4 o'clock, you remember the email you still haven't answered, and the conversation from last week that ended badly, and the mind starts skittering between them, urgent and going nowhere. Udaka kukuka, the wind on the water. And that evening, when you finally think about the thing you've been meaning to start, the practice, the project, the change, a quiet voice supplies the reasons it isn't quite the right moment, and you defer it again. Vicikicca, the dark room. 5 coverings. One day, you probably ran all 5 before dinner, and not one of them was a moral failure. Each was just the surface of the water moving, and the surface moving is not the same as the water being gone. Now, you are not going to eliminate these 5. They're not pathological, not proof of weakness. They are the ordinary condition of the unexamined mind, and they were ordinary long before the scroll existed. A king arrived carrying them. A monk meets all 5 in his first morning of practice. You will meet all 5 before lunch. The point was never to destroy them. The point is the bowl. Peace isn't the absence of chaos. It's the quiet within it. The 5 never touched the water, they only clouded the surface. And here is what actually changes when the map becomes real in you. The hindrances stop surprising you. You start to notice, almost in real time, which one is running. And the moment you notice, not analyze, not fix, just notice and name, its grip loosens. One teacher in the old commentaries put a number on it. Each hindrance loses roughly half its force the instant it's recognized for what it is. Half, that is the practice. So tomorrow morning, before the phone, before the planning, sit for 90 seconds and ask which covering is most present right now. Reaching for the next thing? Kamachanda. Recoiling, tight, irritated? Vyapada. Dull, glazed, unable to care? Thanamida. Agitated, churning unfinished business? Udaka kukuka. Hesitating, deferring the start? Vicikicca. Name it, then go on with your day. Here is the half its force claim in a real moment, so it doesn't stay abstract. Say you're mid-argument, a message lands wrong, and the heat rises in your chest, and you're already composing the reply that will set them straight. That heat is Vyapada, the boil. In the old version of events, you are the heat. There is no gap between feeling it and firing back. But suppose, just once, you catch it. This is aversion. This is the water boiling. Before your thumbs move. You haven't forgiven anyone. You haven't gone calm. You've simply seen the hindrance as a hindrance rather than as the truth of the situation. And in that instant, something measurably loosens. The reply you send 30 seconds later is not the same reply. The naming bought you the half second in which you are no longer purely the reaction. And a half second is the entire difference between a thing you do and a thing that does you. That is the mechanism, and it scales. The recognition isn't a cure. The heat still came. But recognized, it loses the automatic total grip it had when it was invisible. Do this across a week, and you start to feel the coverings as coverings, weather on the surface, rather than as the water itself. And once you can feel that difference even occasionally, the whole relationship to your own mind changes. You stop believing every state it produces, because you've seen directly that a state can be named and survived and watched as it passes. And if it holds for a few days and you want to go further, each night for 1 week, write the single word for whichever covering was strongest that day. After 7 days, look at the list. There will be a pattern. And the one that appears most is almost always the one your life has quietly been organized around, without your knowing. That's the next door. It helps to be honest about what the clearing actually feels like, because people expect the wrong thing and then conclude they've failed. You will not name a hindrance and feel a wave of bliss. There is no white light. What happens is smaller and stranger. The grip loosens by a fraction, and for a moment you are standing slightly behind the agitation instead of inside it. The irritation is still there, but you are no longer entirely made of it. The restlessness is still humming, but there is suddenly a sliver of room around it, and in that sliver something steady. People describe it almost identically across centuries, a quiet that doesn't arrive from outside but is uncovered, like a sound that was always playing underneath a louder one. The moment you hear it, you realize it never stopped. And that is the whole reframe. You are not building this quiet from scratch each morning. You are not earning it through enough sittings. It is the still water at the bottom of the bowl, there before today's silt, thereafter. And naming the hindrance is simply the act of letting the silt settle long enough to see down to it. Some mornings the water clears for 30 seconds and clouds again. That is not failure. That is the practice working exactly as it works, not the permanent removal of the 5, which will keep arriving as long as you're alive, but a steadily growing fluency at noticing them, and a steadily growing trust that the clear water underneath was never actually disturbed. Measure it not by how calm you feel, but by how quickly you notice you weren't. The peace was never outside the hindrances, it's underneath them. In the moment you name what's in the way, and the silt settles, and the water goes still. The bowl clear again. Your own face looking back. Not perfect, not enlightened, just clear. That is all the tradition ever promised. It turns out that is enough.